Yeah, brother. Nice to reconnect.
Yes, sir. I've been looking forward to this. Since I've been playing music that whole time, of course, myself, just like you, and
Uh-huh.
I was pestering your publicist there, trying to get a one-on-one with you because Gary Johnson opened the Michigan Rock Legends Hall of Fame here in Michigan,
Uh-huh.
and you're in it, of course, and
All right. Yeah.
and he wanted you to come on our podcast, the Michigan Music History Podcast, to check out all the stuff there and come say hi and get on our show. So, but she thought this would be the best way to contact you anyway and do this. So I'm going to do a one-on-one with you today then.
Okay. Good. Any way we can do it, we'll do it.
Well, I appreciate this, man. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
My pleasure.
talk to me about where did this whole closer to my home idea start? When did you start recording this? When did this go down?
Well, the album actually started a couple years ago. After we did Howard Stern, we were at the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp and doing it in New York City. And David Fishoff, who is the owner and proprietor of Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, came over to me. I was at camp along with a bunch of other, people that have been in the ranks of rock and roll history for years. And Fishoff said, "Hey, Howard Stern wants you to come over and do his show, and he wants you to do 'I'm Your Captain.' Can you do that?" I said, "Well, does he want a acoustic version, or what does he want? Can I take a band?" He said, "You can take the Fantasy Camp band, man." He says, "You know who's here?" And I said, "Yeah, man, he's got some great players here, and I know some of them. Kip Winger knows all the stuff, and Sandy Gennaro, drummer from Joan Jett, he knows the stuff, and Teddy Zigzag, keyboards from Guns N' Roses, he knows all the stuff, and Bruce Kulick, he played acoustic guitar. Mark Slaughter played second. I played first. Anyways, we took the Fantasy Camp band over to Howard Stern's in the studio, and we did 'I'm Your Captain.' So I'm listening to these guys, and of course Kip Winger's a great singer, and I knew that Slaughter could do the scream singing, but I didn't know that he could hit those notes, those pure notes that he was hitting. And I took my headphones off. I can't play with the cans on. I never could do that. And everybody else had their cans on, but I was listening to the band, and it was sounding good. And I'm listening to these guys sing in the backgrounds. And I told Slaughter after, I said, "Dude, man, you were hitting those notes so pure, so clean. And I really appreciate that, that you did it today, because I didn't realize how good you could sing." And he said, "Well, I want to send you some material that I've been working. I just want to send it over to you to listen to." So he sent me some stuff. He emailed me some links to his stuff, and I loved it. I said, "Man, there's some great music." I said, "The production on this stuff." So I called him up and I said, "Listen, man, I love it, what you sent me." And I said, "What I really love, the production on some of that music," I said, "it is absolutely top drawer as far as separation. You can hear every instrument in the stereo, half a pie. You can hear, I could point to where the instruments are coming from. I could point to the guitar, the bass, and when the drummer did a fill, I could hear him roll across in stereo, go to the mount tom, the next mount, the floor toms, and hitting everything. And I said, "I really love the production." I said, "Who did that production?" He said, "I did." I said, "You're shitting me." No, he says, this is what I'm doing now. And he says, "And I want to produce whatever you do next." He says, "I want to produce you."
Oh.
It was like, dude, it was music to my ears, Scott. So I said, "Man, I got a lot of music. I'll send you what I've been working on, because I've got just, stuff that I've sat down with my acoustic and wrote and had it, and I've had, and I had stuff that I put down on the DAW and it had a click track to it or whatever that I played to. And so I sent him a bunch of my stuff, and he said, "Man, let's get started. You show up here," and he says, "I'll have it all laid out." And after I hung up with him, I had an idea for a song. And it's on this new album. It's Surveilling Us.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I'm thinking about this song, and I just said, you know what, I'm gonna push the button on my phone, on my cell phone, and record it, and I'm just gonna send it to him, just to show him this idea and see what he thinks about it. Dude, he sent me back in an hour, just 1 hour. He sent me back the riff, the jam, it had the drums, it had the bass on it, it had everything on there, and I'm going, what the hell?
Yeah.
This guy has simply got it together. And so that song in particular, Mark Slaughter played every instrument on that song that's on the album.
Oh.
It was him, and except for slide guitar, I played the slide over the top of what he played, but he set it all up, and it inspired me, Scott, to write the rest of the verse that I needed to write. And so that's how it worked, man. It's it took a couple of years in the making, but he's a touring musician, I'm a touring musician, and we have to work around our touring schedule. So it took us this long, and I think it was better, dude, because it gave us time to reflect on what we were doing, and he'd come back off the road and go, hey, I'm thinking, in this part of the song, it needs to have blah, blah, blah. And it just, that's the way it came together. And even one day we're sitting there at his studio in Tennessee, and we're working on the song "Oh Darling," and there's a UPS truck pulls up in the drive, and you could hear it on the microphone. He says, "Oh, damn, man!" He says, "I'm sorry, but that UPS truck just pulled up in here," and he's out in the country. So, anyways, he takes delivery of this package, and it looks like a guitar in a box in there. He pulls it out. It's an electric 12-string. He plugs it in, tunes it, and puts it on the record we're working on, the recording, "Oh Darling," right out of the UPS truck into the grooves. I'm not kidding you. It was just, that's the way it worked. Everything worked in our favor, and I love who he is. I love his way of doing things. He's a very honest guy.
That's great.
And yeah, man, and we both have the tribal blood, and so we both when we're onto the scent, man, it's like having two bloodhounds on the scent at the same time.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man.
I love this. It's like you found a comfortable working partner that you believed in, he believed in you, and you both took things to the next level just because of natural feelings for each other and the quickness of all of it. Like, hey, we're getting together, and boom, it happens.
Yeah.
And it's everybody's positive, very positive.
Yeah, man. And it's you have to, especially nowadays, you have to have a confidence. You have to have a trust in who you're working with. And with him, dude, it was like, it wasn't hard at all. I love the guy, and it ain't hard to love him. He's just an honest, straight shooting, well-meaning. Everybody that I know that knows him tells me the same thing about him.
I love that.
Yeah, man. And some of the podcasters that, I mentioned Slaughter. This guy, man, Slaughter sent me this microphone I'm talking to you on. Look at this thing. It's like he just, he gave it to him because he knew he needed a good microphone. So He's just that kind of guy.
He was in Bay City this summer, and I got to catch the show, and I didn't get a chance to see him. I was standing next to him almost all night, but I didn't want to really bug him, you know. But he came to play, and I was kind of like covering backstage and doing some photography. And I'm like, man, I used to go see him when he opened for Kiss back in the day and all this, and he was still hitting it. Him and Dana were having a blast, man.
Yeah. Yeah, those guys they're partners. They're real partners.
If I would have known that he worked with you, I would have been all over him going, hey, man, talk to Mark. Mark's our guy here. This is beautiful. I got to tell you, man, we first met each other with Dick Wagner. I used to work with Dick back when he was in town. And you were at the studio. I was just a puny dude in the corner at the time, but Dick told me how he produced your first record back then, the solo album, and I went and bought your catalog, and of course everybody's got the Grand Funk stuff, but this might be the most Grand Funk of your solo albums of any. Like, this is like a freaking Grand Funk record. Like Mark, you're not. This one's not just political. This one's not just religious. This one's not just my feelings. This one's not just pop. It's everything.
Yeah.
How did you fill that in, brother?
Well, it's with working with Slaughter. He's got the ears. Because 80s hair band. He cut his teeth on what we were doing.
Okay.
And both of those guys, they love my music. They love, what I stood for. Dana, full of compliments towards me, and I went and saw them up at St. Ignace at the casino up there. They played outdoor show up there, and they rocked it, man. I was so proud of those guys, man.
Excellent.
Because there's some honesty there. There's no bullshit, no theatrics. It is just in your face rocking, and great players. His guitar player Jeff is from Flint, Michigan.
I didn't know that.
So, yeah, dude, and he shreds, and he's a showman. And their drummer Jordan, good God, yeah, man, that kid.
Yeah, they were. You must have saw them. I think they went up there after the Bay City show, so it was probably right on the heels of each part there.
Yeah,
dude, they were back to back there, I think, and that was they were on fire that night. They played with it was like a bill of I think they had Stephen Pearcy of Rat, and then George Lynch was one night, and it was an '80s thing, but boy, they killed Bay City when they were here.
Good, yeah. Man, they were killing it up there. They had Great White up there with them. It was good, man.
Well, speaking of cutting their teeth on you and what you've done, you still sound exactly like you always have. You play better than you always have, and you already were good. This is amazing. I want to walk through your track listing. I didn't want to bore you with just backstories today, even though I got a lot of those I want to ask. But any more, go for it, man. Tell me a little bit how I could tell there's a little kiss off to Grand Funk in that.
Well, I went down to Tennessee, and we're recording it because it's like one of the first things that Mark wanted to do. He says, I love this song. I love the progression. I love what you did with the guitar, and I just want to get it down. I said, yeah, man, let's do it. So we put the track down, and he said, let's get what you've got as far as lyrics. Let's get it down, and as we're working on it, we'll just keep ourselves open to the spirit. And man, it's like I'm singing. After we put the instruments on there, and we had at least a rough track to sing to, I'm putting down the vocals, and then he starts singing, lyrics to me, and I'm going, yeah, oh yeah, and I was so excited because he's saying, because I had already talked to him about, not holding any grudge against Don and Mel, because you can't get past the bullshit if you don't find forgiveness.
Right.
And and I, if I didn't have true forgiveness, then that shit will eat your lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my power, Scott. And
that.
I will do with my power what I want to do with my power, and I choose to forgive. And this is what I told Slaughter right up front. I said, I really don't hold anything against them guys. I said, I'm disappointed in them
Mm-hmm.
that they would say that they are Grand Funk without, me in the band. I said, I'm disappointed in them, but I just think they're off their path.
Mm-hmm.
I said, and I have to give them room to get back on the path for the sake of not only our relationships, but for the sake of the fans who really want to see the real band, the original trio,
Mm-hmm.
because there's only three people in the world that can make that sound, and it's Mark, Don, and Mel, and that there's no other three other people that, or fill-ins that can fill in, and it's a magic thing, and I always tell people that I am who my songs say I am, and I'm the only one who can be on that stage with those two guys who is who the songs say he is.
Yeah, you matched the lyrics with the person.
Yes,
absolutely, and the vibe, and it was apparent. I mean, I remember interviewing you in the '90s when you did the comeback thing, and the Bosnia record came out, and I partied with you guys backstage after that 4th of July show.
Yeah,
and all three of you were hanging out, talking to everybody, and it was like this brotherhood came back in, and man, within 6 months, boom, it was out like a light.
Yeah. Yep.
I was feeling just pain because it was like the whole world was back on the Grand Funk page again, and I couldn't understand it. Did I hear recently that you ran into Mel in Nashville at an airport, and somebody posted some story about it that you guys were having a good old laugh or something?
Well, no, it was a couple of years ago. I
Okay.
ran into Mel in the Detroit,
Okay.
the club, and we hugged each other, had conversation. It was good.
Oh, good, man. I'd read some little snippet online not too long ago and just doing some backstory, and I'm like, well, I'm glad you got to see him. I wondered how it really went, because sometimes people like to fabricate those kind of stories,
Yeah, well, him and I went to the same school. We jammed together. We rode dirt bikes together. We smoked dope together. Was just getting into this stuff.
Yeah.
And he's a lifelong friend.
Oh, I imagine. It's like touching each other's soul right there.
Yeah, man.
And you said you worked with Kulik too. How was that? Like, you guys must get along real well. I mean, no, I know Bruce is no longer with Grand Funk, but that must have been interesting.
Well, Bob Kulik played on my solo album that Dick Wagner produced.
Right.
So that's where the Kulik came in, and I knew about Bruce, but I met him, physically met him at rock camp, and he was at a few of the different rock camps that I was at. And we, had a just casual relationship, and he didn't know if I was going to be pissed off at him or whatever,
Right.
and I said, no, dude, when it's all is said and done, you got to put bread on your table, and you're a musician. I don't hold anything against you, Bruce, at all. And he was glad to hear that. He seems like he's a nice guy anyway.
He always was. I actually met him back in the Kiss days, and he was probably the most well-rounded, personable, talking like you and I do to each other kind of guy. Like, we can have a conversation, and so kind.
Yeah, man.
That leads me to Facade. Fabulous tune. Everything's a Facade, and it's a total Mark Farner song. That one's stamped 100% Mark Farner. Give me a little bit of what was up with that song.
Well, it's recognizing that that we are taking part in a mirage, because really, nothing is as it appears to be. So, in this mirage that we are operating in, I went to Austin, Texas. I'm playing my son Joseph's acoustic guitar down there, and I'm playing the chord progression to Facade. He goes, "Dad, what is that song? I love those chords." And I sang him, a little bit, and he starts singing, "No need to fake what I do, pantomiming lies." And I'm going, "Ooh, man, yeah, come on, buddy. Come on, son."
Yeah.
Yes. And staying true to my heart brings out the love inside. Man, I'm thinking, that's it. That's the second verse right there. So to have my own blood on that song,
Oh,
I'm very proud of it, because it's two hearts headed in the same direction.
boy, that's a killer tune.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope people get to hear this because this album is a pure treat, man. And I kind of gather "Friends Forever" is your ballad, one of your first ballads you've done in a while, and a fresh feel on things. I love how it ties together everybody. Like, hey, we're all in it together. We're all friends forever, kind of thing. Give me a little bit of that.
That was, I was at the studio with Petrie and down in Illinois at his house.
Ah,
And he's got guitars on every wall. He's got them on the hallways. So he got guitars hanging, going up the stairs. He's got guitars hanging every place. Man, that guy got more guitars and unique guitars. Great,
mm-hmm.
And so I'm looking at everything. I was just really enthralled with it. And he says, "Well, I'm glad you like this, but he's a down to earth dude. He really is."
Jim Petrick, right? We're talking about from
yeah, man.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
Survivor fame.
Yeah. And the Ides of March.
Ides of March, yes.
I'm your vehicle, baby. But definitely Eye of the Tiger and 38 Special too.
True.
Yeah, he has his hand in the music for a long time, and I had my confidence in knowing his history and knowing his heart, because he wears it on his sleeve. He's not hiding anything. He's just a very forthright young man in an old man suit. We're all getting it in our senior years, but even for as old as we are, we still have that what made us who we are on the stage. We still have that intact. And he said, "Man, I'm working on this tune. I want you to listen to it and give me your opinion on it." And he says, "And I need some lyrics." So I came up with some lyrics, and as it's playing, and he's playing the piano to it, and then I came up with some lyrics, and he says, "Ben, do you want to just do this song? Do you want to sing it? I think we got enough of it here to lay it down." And I said, "Yeah, man, let's put it down, see what it sounds like." So we did. He did the keyboards on it, except for the organ, and that's Scott May on the organ on that track.
Okay.
And it's Jim's son playing drums on that track. It's me playing bass on the track. There was a bass part on it that I don't know who in Jim's network down there of the Ides. He had somebody put the bass on. It might have even been him, but it was not what I'm definitely a Flint, Michigan guy. And in Motown, definitely. Then the R&B stuff that Rosalie Trombley was pounding across the river from Windsor, Ontario, with the CKLW man blasting in. I was under that influence, and so I got it in me. I got it on me, and I could hear a different bass part. And I put the bass part on that song after we had cut it, because Slaughter, man, when he heard it, he said, let's have him send the tracks and I'll remix it here so it blends with what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, and you can put that bass part on there that you're hearing. I said, okay, let's do that. So that's what we did. And, it just feels good to me.
It falls right in with Bad Time or anything. I mean, it's got there's a stamp on it that has your name. That's, it's just got the feels. It's
awesome.
That Mark vibe. It's what you want to hear, and it could be a pop song that goes across any kind of era as well.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that.
Yeah, brother. So you redid damn near note for note I'm Your Captain. Tell me.
Yeah, well, it's the whole album is not in American Standard A440. It's in what was the standard prior to 1953, when it was changed. And Rockefeller changed it in 1953 from 432 to 440. I like 432 because I know about frequency. I know I've seen the difference. There's different patterns that people, they play a frequency and they have this sand on a piece of steel, and the sand makes a design. It goes into a pattern.
Yeah.
Different notes. And this is all part of, who we are and what we are discovering at this time in life. And 432 is the tuning standard, the old school standard that we went back to. And,
right.
I had to do I'm Your Captain in 432. I played bass on it. I played guitar on it. Played, the keyboards. And a guy that Slaughter knows, Joshua Egan, played the drums, and he did a tempo map. Instead of, there was no click track back when Grand Funk was recording. We just played to the drummer.
Yep.
And when the drummer gets excited, he speeds up, and then he, slows down. It's not, it's natural. It's not an AI driven kind of thing that where everything has to be, I don't like what the digital bullshit that occurs in a lot of music. So anyway, it was, the whole, doing it in 432 is compatible with everything that is natural, and especially water. And being that we are like 80-90% water, our bodies are, it is compatible. It'll love on you instead of smashing up against you,
Yeah.
Because 440 does smash up against you.
I'll be dang,
definitely.
man. I got to read into that more. I heard that 432 was originally the tuning, and
Yep.
I never messed a whole lot around, but since you've talked about it, it's really got me intrigued now.
Yeah, well, you need to, brother.
Oh, dude, I'm Your Captain is like, it's like the calling card. I mean, you get your song came back out during the Super Bowl and all the football last season. I mean, it was starting to hit again all year long, and I thought you have the album title Closer to My Home, so it's natural that you would do that again. It's fantastic.
Thank you, man. That's my song. That's the one I prayed for.
That's beautiful, man. Oh, Darling is the next one. That's another one that's kind of like in the Friends Forever vein but back to Mark's poppy side.
Yeah.
That Motown.
And that song, when we were in the green room at Howard Stern's show, going to go out there and do I'm Your Captain, I was just playing my guitar, how guitar players do that, warming up. And I'm just playing those chords to Oh Darling. Slaughter walks over and goes, "What the hell is that?" I said, "Well, it's a song that is called Oh Darling that I'm writing." And I sang him a little bit of it, and he goes, "God, I love that song, Farner." He says, "I want to be involved with you on that song. And don't you know, I mean, this is before I knew about his production skills and all that.
Right.
But I knew his heart, and I was thinking, Lord, please let us do something together on this song, because it's the right energy and it's honesty, and lo and behold, we do it in our session, and I love it. I love what he influenced, and it's like Bad Time, same kind of.
Yeah, that's actually, I got that mixed up with the one of Friends Forever, but that's the one that has the Bad Time vibes.
Yeah,
absolutely. Then that's a great tune, man. That is classic Mark Farner, man. And now I think that it's funny because some albums right there, you kind of get a lot of filler. You decided to ramp it up for the whole ride out. And here's some really unique tunes coming in here. Real. Give me a little bit about Real.
Well, Real is definitely, where I'm coming from, as far as the ownership of things changed hands in '96, and Clinton deregulated the FCC. It went from 777. The rule was that you could own 7 AM, 7 FM, 7 television stations, and that was put into place by the FCC to stop any monopolies. Well, when Clinton deregulated the FCC, he opened the door for the monopoly we are now suffering under.
Right.
And that, in a nutshell, between the song Real, which is, I sing it, and I sing it to the common man, because it takes somebody who doesn't have their head up in the air to understand simply what is going on, and because I'm real.
Yeah. You've always been real.
And I want that to be the last thing in people's mind, is to know that there's no hype here. This is just who I've been all my life, and who I'm going to be, and continue on. And because I wrote that song probably, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, dude.
Oh.
But it was to a different riff.
Oh.
Yeah, and I came up with the riff that's on this track now, just before I went down, to record, and I played it for Slaughter. He goes, "Oh my God, yeah, man." He said that is definitely a catchy riff, and he says, "As long as you can sing it and play it at the same time." I said, "Yeah, man, I can do that."
Did you play guitar and sing for some of these tracks on the record, or is that you talking about live?
No, I'm talking about
there.
I'm talking about live.
Real as real could be, man.
Yeah,
I got you.
Right on.
Well, yeah, play it live, man. This whole record could be done live. It's fantastic, man. Same Game.
Yeah, there we go. It's mainstream. When they deregulated the FCC, the same powers and the principalities that rule the darkness of our world purchased everything. These corporate conglomerates, nothing but evil shit.
Yeah,
in my humble opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't watch mainstream, because I know. I had the feeling, I had the unction when it changed hands. I knew what the plan was. I played in Mexico City, opening for the Doors down there, and I went to the radio station, 50,000 watt station in Mexico City, that I had been to prior, and they told me, "Well, Mark, this is the last interview that this station's going to do." I said, "Last interview?" I said, "I was here before." He said, "Yeah, but this is the last one because we got bought out." I said, "Bought out by who?" The dude says, "Clear Channel."
No shit.
Yeah. So it's not just the U.S. that got bought up. It's every country that the banksters issue currency to. and that's over 190 countries, brother, that they control mainstream media via the ownership of it. And somebody said to me, well, how the hell did this happen, this COVID, man? It was like worldwide, snap of the finger, and it's worldwide. I said, yeah, because the media is owned by these same people, the same powers and principalities that rule the darkness. They're ruling it, and they're setting us up for what this whole digital bullshit takeover. It's digital slavery is what it is. That's all it amounts to. Yeah. So same game, it spells it out.
You got it. I got it now. You're painted the picture, but a lot better for me, because your lyrics apply to many different ideas, and I'm like, you really spelled it out good with this conversation. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Strong. And then you already touched upon Surveilling Us. I thought that was kind of you're hitting this home runs right here about what's going on. And man, that's a cool tune, man. What was like the one thing in your mind when you said you wanted to slam that down right then? What were you thinking of that made you label the song Surveilling Us, or Surveilling US even, or however you want to put it?
Yeah, that's it. You got it. Yep. Yeah, because we all have unalienable rights, and they're stomping on them, and you got to kind of lay it. You can't come right out. I can come out and tell you, and you can get the word out there. But when I'm making a song, I gotta use some restraint, and sometimes you gotta lay it between the lines, and that's exactly what happened with Surveilling Us. Slaughter played all of the music except for the slide, and I wrote what was on my heart, what was coming to me as I'm hearing it come back across the speakers. Man, I'm writing as fast as I could write. and that's the way it come out, man. Yeah, man.
Magic. I love that. Oh man, the Prisoner.
Yeah, that was doing Dick Wagner. Remember the Child.
Yeah. We
were down in Detroit at the rehearsal facility, getting ready to do a show, and God rest Dick's rock and soul.
Yeah.
All of us people that love him, and it's getting set up in the rehearsal facility, and I just started jamming the jam, and David Winans starts playing bass and singing, and Rick Murphy, one of the background singers, he starts singing like verses, and I'm going, hell yeah, man, come on, keep coming, let's keep this thing going. But we had to rehearse, the Wagner tunes that we were doing, but we got a good enough start on it to where Murphy finished it, all the lyrics. I just sang his lyrics, but I came up with the jam. I started the jam on my axe, and the three of us, David Winans the second, and Rick Murphy and myself, the three of us wrote that song, and Rick was singing it, and he said, "Nah, man," he said, "you need to sing this." So, and I did. I needed to sing that song.
Yeah, that's definitely a callback to your brothers there, and your brother Dick Wagner. I could see that, man. That I felt a lot of history in that, and it's funny because doing this Michigan Music History podcast, which I've been doing as well as playing, as and it's like we talked to Pete Woodman, and we talked to Question Mark. I just talked to him recently, and a bunch of guys, and they're all like, "Man, Farner was our guy, and if you ever talk to Mark, say hi." It's like this positive energy, and I remember Dick always saying that. Dick was always like, "Man, if Mark could do this or that, we would, you were the guy that tied so many bands together, coming through the Bossman, then going back to funk, and then jamming with all the guys you did. I mean, you've always been there for everybody, man, and I think Michigan rock and roll has your face right on that, man. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you saying that. That's very encouraging.
Oh, no, it's perfect, man. You are the man. And I want to tell you the song that brought tears out of my eyes. Not only that, but was like made a hair stand up on my neck because I thought it sounded so personable. Is Tiny Fingers.
Thank you.
That is unbelievable. Like, that is the most gentle, most thought-provoking song. I mean, give me what was on your mind when you wrote that, man.
Well, I had watched my first son being born. I watched a miracle. I watched him coming out of my wife. We both busted into tears. We loved it. We loved the experience of the miracle, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's in the inception of it. But anytime I would go to sing it, I would just start crying. And I've had that song for 25 years.
Really? Well, I'm glad you put it out. Oh.
Yeah, well, Paul Ojibwe, who is another Native American in Michigan, keyboard player, saxophone guy, he was playing in my band back, years ago. When I wrote this song, we did a biker rally down in North Carolina and went over for sound check. We're plugged in and everybody getting their sounds. Well, I plugged in and it sounded good. So I walk up to the microphone and I got the guy, monitor guy balancing and giving me what I want. And I'm calling out frequencies and stuff. And he's going, okay, how about that? And as soon as I get my stuff sounding good to me, I just started singing Tiny Fingers. Oh. And nobody in the band had ever heard this. And they didn't try to play it with me. Normally, you jam or something during a sound check. They didn't. They just laid out of it. And Paul Ojibwe was in the band then, and he said, did you see those bikers come by? I mean, yeah, it was sound check. There was nobody there. And then all of a sudden, there's 100 bikers standing there. And they're giving me thumbs up and they're crying, man. I mean, dude, it was like, wow. Yeah. So he's been after me for all these years, Ojibwe, to do the song. And until his daughter died here, just in her 20s, and it broke his heart. And then when Slaughter heard me playing the song, he said, "What is that?" I said, "Well, it's," and then like I just told you. And he said, "Dude, you need to do it just keyboards and acoustic guitar. That's all."
Yeah.
And
pure.
Yep. So
pure,
I call him. I call him up. And I say, Ojibwe, you're gonna shit, but I need you to come and play a song. He said, "What song?" I said, "Tiny Fingers." He goes, "No, you're kidding me. You're gonna do that? Finally, he says, "Finally, you son of a bitch." I said, "Yep, finally, dude." And I said, "But things had to be right in order for me to do this." I said, "Things are right, and we need to catch it now why they are right."
Yeah.
And so that's where it came from. And dude, when we cut it, I had him. I'm there and he's there, and we're the only two, and he's putting it down and playing it to my acoustic guitar. But he's come up these great chords, and I'm thinking, oh my God, yes, play that one again. Let's do that one right there. Jeez, it's just touching me, So we get it done, and then I said, "Come on over and sit next to me, and let's listen to this thing back." And Scott, dude, we were bawling. We were fucking bawling, man. I mean, snot coming out of our noses, and just hanging on to each other, and sharing some emotion. But that still, I had a hard time singing it. But it came out.
Did you do that in Flint?
No.
Where were you?
We were up in Petoskey.
Oh, where you are. Okay.
Yeah.
Fabulous. It's unbelievable how touching. You struck the chords, and what a way to end the album. Oh.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Oh my Lord. What's your plan for the year ahead? I know this comes out this Friday.
Yeah.
What's your plan coming out?
We got TKO as my agency, my booking agency that I'm with.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Lenz is my agent, and he's got a lot of stuff lined up. They're going to the Fair Buyers Convention. They're pitching all this winter, of course, when the industry is kind of tailored into slowing down. They do all these conventions where all the fair buyers and where the casino buyers, all of these buyers conventions come up, and then the agents go and sell the tours. So this year I'm privileged to have it will be with me at a number of shows. It's not going to be at all of them because it's just impossible, but the portable Vietnam Veterans Monument is going to be at some of my shows. The wall will be there. Yes, it's a scaled down version that's still a long wall, even scaled down. So people that have not been able to make it to DC, if they can make it to my show, they're going to be blessed.
That's beautiful, Mark. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
That's amazing. I can't wait for people to hear this interview. It's there's always so much on your plate, and you're always so busy, but you blessed us with another fantastic record, man, and a tour and all this. I mean, for the vets here. I've been following your Instagram. I see that you're every day you've got some vibe going on there to let people know. I think people need to see you on there. You're always going live on there or putting up a video on there.
Yeah.
Is that your main portal right now? To connect with is that your main portal to connect with the fans?
Yeah, and Facebook and X, they
Mm-hmm.
so, and of course of all of the interviews that I've been doing, podcasts and what have you, the StreamYard and Zoom videos.
Fantastic, Mark. Well, hey, I'm not going to want to waste your time much more. I think it sounds like a party going on at your house right now, but we would be honored to get your whole story, one way or another. We can come see you, or you can come see the Hall of Fame. And people, we're winning awards for this Michigan Music History thing, and like I said, your face is on the front of it, man. So thank you so much. Brother. Oh, brother thank Mark, you. Dude, I've loved you forever, and I'm always honored to talk to you, and I thank you for your time.
It's been my pleasure, Brother Scott, and God bless you.
You too, and I can't wait to hear about how this record does Friday, man. Good luck with it all.
All right. Thanks, brother.
Talk to you soon.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.